Hey y'all, we're your hosts Mackenzie Gonzalez and Tenley Wright, back with a new episode of Country Roots, a podcast for country music lovers by country music lovers. Here we'll listen to and review the latest albums.
In this episode, we'll be talking about John Pardi's newest album, Heartache Medication, which was released on September 27th. It's the California Natives' junior album and it features 14 tracks. Let's get right into it.
The first track on the album is Old Hat.
So one thing I noticed about this song is it's really about how not only like old fashion is going out of style, but like old like chivalry is going out of style, holding the door for a lady. And I think that's really something that not a lot of people notice or care about maybe. And one lyric I really liked is, if a promise is something you don't break, you're the last of a dying breed. That one really hit hard.
Okay, so one of the things that I noticed in the song, it's the way he says certain lyrics, along with the like steel guitar and the drums he's got going, but it goes to the beat of that. So it goes, he goes, we finish a fight but won't start one, never forget where we came from, and then it goes, we've got a degree in the old school, like it's da-da-da-da. And I really enjoyed that. I think it's kind of fun. It's a little bit more
definitely
like upbeat, and it's different from like the rest of the song, and so it like takes you by surprise a little bit. But I really enjoy that part of the song, and then just kind of like what the song is about in general.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next is the title track, Heartache Medication.
Okay, I really dig this song because it is like a heartbreak song, but it's not your typical like sad heartbreak song.
Yeah.
This is him. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the bar and I'm gonna drink until I get you off my mind. Because we played this clip, but like, single drinking doubles, teardrops turn into bubbles. So like, instead of crying, now he's sitting at the bar drinking a beer. We've got all that foam on the top and everything.
Yeah.
A little later on, he's going to go and find himself some trouble, so he's either about to get in a bar fight, or he's going to go home with someone new. Who knows?
And I think this is just a really great song in the sense that it's a heartbreak song, but it's super upbeat, and it makes you feel good. So, like, despite the lyrics being sad, it's definitely a good song to go dancing to, and it's definitely one of those songs at a concert that everyone's going to be singing along to.
I for sure would, if I heard this in the car, I would crank this song
definitely,
up
me too.
and just jam out. It gets to the point where the person in the car next to me would look over and be like, "What?"
But yeah, it's just a good song. I love it so much. Okay, so next up on the album is my personal favorite, Nobody Leaves a Girl Like That. Okay, like I said earlier, this is probably my favorite song on the album. He's talking about how he left a girl and maybe she tried to make him stay, but like it says in the song, he fired up that Chevy and he left. So now he's kind of learned that he made a mistake and nobody, even him, should leave a girl as good as that. So he kind of regrets it in a way.
Okay, so this song, my personal favorite on the album, besides one other song, but that's coming up, so be ready, y'all. Anyway, but though, I love this song. I especially really like the opening of the song because I love the lyrics. She's got the kind of eyes you want to get lost in. Look twice when she gets to walk in. it really reminds me of another John, who I'm sure a lot of you don't know, but John Wolfe. He's got another song called like His New Baby that this reminds me a lot of lyrics wise. But yeah, I really like the opening, and then I do really enjoy the fact that it starts off like as if he's just talking about some random girl, but then towards the end he ties it in that the girl he's talking about was his girl.
Mm-hmm.
It goes, take it from me, you never leave a girl like that. Yet he did, and like Tenley said, he is starting to regret it.
I think it kind of tricks you in a way, because he opens it up talking about all the things he loves about this girl, and you think maybe it's going to get into some kind of love song, like this is his girl and everything. But then he gets to, I left her, I regret it, and yeah, it tricks you into thinking it's going to be a happy song, but it's not.
Next up on the album is Ain't Always the Cowboy.
Still I can't keep from smiling, 'cause damn that girl can fly. It ain't always a cowboy that ain't got a lot to hang around, ain't got no settle down in their boots.
Okay, so like I said for the previous song, Nobody Leaves a Girl Like That's one of my favorite songs, and then I was like, but there's another song coming up. It's Ain't Always a Cowboy. I love both of those songs so much, but one of the main reasons like I love both of those songs is because I kind of, in the word, like at first, in the opening verse he says, tears rolling down her eyes, no messing with a made-up mind, sun setting on goodbye. Well, in Nobody Leaves a Girl Like That, he says, he talks about how she was crying, and he left her. But, like, I also almost feel like in this song, he's trying to convince himself that he didn't leave, and it was her who left. And then another reason I really like this song, and my dad and I actually kind of planned this out, because he was listening to the radio one day, and they played When the Cowboy Rides Away, and then they played Ain't Always the Cowboy.
Yeah.
Well, when he told me about that, I was like, oh, but there's a third song that you could play. And that's How the Cowgirl Says Goodbye. So I think if you listen to all three of those songs in a row, it's like the absolute perfect story. And that's like another reason I really enjoyed this song.
Again, I'm not one for connecting songs, but I do see where you are coming from in this one. But one thing I wanted to kind of just quickly go over was the beginning, where he's talking about her hands wrapped up in mine, tears rolling out of her eyes, no messing with my made-up mind, sun setting on goodbye. Unlike the last song we listened to, this one clearly opens up with "This is a heartbreak song," and it definitely has that vibe to it. It's slower. It's slowed down a little bit. It's not necessarily slow, but it is slowed down, and it kind of gives you that heartbreak feel. And the fact that he's saying, "I've never seen over from the side. I've never heard lonely get this quiet." It kind of says that he does have experience with breakups, but he's always the one that left. He's never had a girl leave him, and I think he's kind of just trying to, he doesn't really understand it. He's still trying to figure it out.
In his experience, it has always been the cowboy. Up until now. Now it ain't always the cowboy leaving, and he's now learning that.
Exactly.
He's never had that happen.
Yeah. Alright, this one is also one of my favorites. We're going to listen to Me and Jack. Alright, so this one's pretty simple to pull apart, obviously about alcohol, but it's a really upbeat song. I really like the opening when he's like, back when I was 18, I met the man in black. He said, John, it's nice to meet you. My name is Jack. So he's kind of referring to, and throughout the song, he refers to Jack as this friend, but then he starts talking about how it's ripping apart relationships, getting him fired, and how Jack is really not good for him, but he keeps going back.
Okay. Man, throughout this song, does John really talk about how Jack is just a really toxic friend. Like, seriously. saw the girl of my dreams, and man, she made me nervous. So I leaned on my buddy Jack, and he gave me the courage. He leaned on Jack to go up to this girl, talk to her, gets the girl, and eventually Jack is like, "Hey, now that you got the girl, why don't you come hang out with me again? You know, I think you're spending too much time with her." But that girl is like, "I don't really like this friend Jack of yours." So she hits the road, but Jack's still there for him to lean on in that heartbreak. Eventually, Jack and him don't get along anymore, and he winds up in jail.
Yeah.
Alright, so the next song on the album is Don't Blame It on the Whiskey, featuring Lauren Elena, and dear God, she has a beautiful voice.
This heartbreak train's picking up steam, and we're standing on the track. Yeah, I can blame it on you, or you can blame it on me, but don't blame it on whiskey. Might be strong, but it ain't got nothing on what's going on here.
Okay, there's not really much to say about this song. It's really easy to pick apart because they've gotten into a fight, this couple, and it's come to the next morning, they're sobered up, and they realize they can't blame it on whiskey for their troubles. The whiskey just brings out their truth, and so they're like, well, we can't blame it on that. This is all completely on us.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Most other songs will just try and blame it on the alcohol.
Yeah.
Whereas this, they like sit there and they're like, it's not, that was what brought it out, but that is not the reason we got into this fight. And like I said, Lauren Elena is probably the absolute perfect voice to have used for this song. I love her voice.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren Elena was the absolute most perfect addition to this song. I think it's what makes or breaks it. It's a good song. It would have been a good song just with John by himself, but I think Lauren Elena really adds that wow factor. And yeah, I agree with what you said. Most songs will blame it on the whiskey. I mean, I'm looking at Spotify right now. There's like 7 songs on here called "Blame It on the Whiskey." So just by searching "Blame It on the Whiskey." So it's just really about how this couple, they're fighting or something, and they wake up and the sober truth, and they're saying, we can't blame this on the drinking.
I really like but don't blame it on the whiskey. You know, it ain't about the drink. And then I like where it's both of them singing, saying, you know, you can blame it on me, or I can blame it on you.
Yeah. But
we cannot, like, absolutely
and they're agreeing
cannot
on
blame
that.
it.
One lyric I like, just by reading through these real quick, like it would have turned out different if we had stopped at 1 or 2. So they're saying it really wouldn't have turned out different if they had stopped at 1 or 2 drinks. But I just think this is a great song. All right, last song for this episode. Great place to end is "Tied One On."
She said, wait, do you have a girlfriend? Nope. I cut her loose and tied one on. Closed down my favorite honky tonk. Don't know why I waited so damn long. I cut her loose and tied one on.
All right, for a man who is recently engaged, this album seems to have a lot of heartbreak and breakup songs on the album. But one thing I did notice is there's a few name drops. There's George Jones, Elvis, Haggard was playing on the jukebox. So those are pretty big country names that he uses in there. And I think I like how it starts out as well when he talks about what this girlfriend or ex is saying. I'm tired of those boots being dirty all the time, and you're hunting stuff and your 3-day scruff. I don't like. I like how he starts it off just saying like all the stuff she said, and then like, this is why I left.
He was basically just like, that's cool, That's what I am as a person. So if you don't like that, I'm gone. I'll hit the road.
You're not going to respect my hobbies and the stuff I like, and if you don't like my friends, then maybe this isn't going to work out.
And then I love how later, towards the end of the song, and this is the clip that we recorded, he goes to the bar. He's like, okay, I'm about to have some fun with my friends at the bar. You know, now that I'm not tied down by you, I cut you loose. No longer going to be tied down by you, so I'm going to go have some fun with the boys. And he meets a girl, and she digs who he is as a person. And I love the, do you have a girlfriend? Nope.
And yeah, I definitely love that part, which is why I chose to record it. But also another one I really like is after that last chorus, or the second to last chorus, I guess. It says I cut her loose and tied one on. You think the song is gonna end, and then there's just this boom, and I cut her loose and tied one on. So it's just really good, and it's an upbeat song. It's so upbeat. I mean, I think it's one of the fastest ones we've heard so far on the album, and I think it's definitely just a great song.
Yeah,
Good
I
listen.
mean, he has a girl, cuts her loose. By the end of the song, he's tied a new one on.
Yeah.
He has a new girl by the end of this song.
Yeah. Alright, that's a wrap for this episode of Country Roots. Make sure to catch us in our next episode, where we'll bring you the thoughts on the second half of the album, starting with Oughta Know That. We're your hosts, Mackenzie Gonzalez and Tenley Wright. We'll catch y'all next time.